Hello and welcome to the Daily Dharma. My name is Deana and I'm kind of in between the shadow and light, so bear with me here. It's difficult to get the perfect lighting here on the balcony. So if you haven't tuned into the previous couple of recordings, I am on location in Maui on the Kanapali beach side in the Lahaina area. And if you haven't tuned in before, this is intended to be a timeless collective reading, just taking the collective vibration, the energies moving about. And if this doesn't resonate, go ahead and check out another video. So, as I'm on the balcony, I'm going to try to keep my voice a little low, so I hope that you all can hear me well and appreciate the ocean waves and the birds and the sounds that surround. In the pre-shuffle, we had the magic card popping out under the deck. And what I forgot to mention yesterday was that Saturn, as Saturn did pop out in the reading, has just turned retrograde. And so the Saturn retrograde is much like the Saturn return that I was talking about, where we're being held accountable for previous actions and manifestations and the use of our energy. And so if you've been trying to do your best and trying to share resources and work with synergy with others and trying to learn your lessons and surpass any of your previous karma, then you're going to be reaping the benefits of those actions and your attitudes. But if the flip side is true, if you have not been answering the call and have been just trudging along doing what you felt others expected of you, then this is going to be a little bit more difficult and challenging until you recognize what your authentic desires and your particular heart and soul purpose is here during this time. So that magic for some is going to be witnessing your own beauty and radiance and your own purpose. But for others, it's going to be the negative impact of using their manifestation skills not for the highest good of anyone, and it ends up being the negative end of the magical spectrum, and it causes rebounding sometimes until we can finally learn the lessons that we came here to contend with. So what are the messages today? Let's see, the cards are taking a little time to come out today. Oops, that one will come up. That was the first one from yesterday as well. Solar plexus chakra number 3. It fits very well with what we're talking about with Saturn, the use of our energy, the ability to not only stand firm in our own personal authority and intuitive wisdom, but also the ability to tap into our magical essence and use it creatively for the common good. Or for others, it may be working through issues of aggression or anger. Under the deck, consciousness, we had this one pop out yesterday as well. Number 17 is an 8. Goes around, comes around. Compassion, we'll get this right here. Compassion is 15. That came out yesterday. And this is telling me today there's an element of bondage, probably bondage to a cycle. And with solar plexus today, I'm feeling that you're breaking free of the illusion that you need to act for others' expectations. Others' expectations are their own, and when they project them onto us, it loses relevance. And serving others is not to assume all of their urges and projections onto us, of course. So being compassionate is, it seems to be an expansion of understanding. I wouldn't be surprised if the Coherence card came out. Well, same. Discernment. Using our discernment to choose which things are for us and which things are not. So if somebody's like, oh, well, you should do this thing rather than that thing, it's up to us, because everybody has great ideas if we want to walk the same path that they do. And somebody was just telling me yesterday that they got a ton of excellent advice on business, but this person has just purchased into a new enterprise, passing hands from one person to the next, which kind of fits in with yesterday's message about a power shift, a power dynamic, so a new person taking the helm of a certain enterprise. But this discernment is, stay on your own course. Don't let other people dictate what the best path is for you, and take your authority because they're successful in what they've chosen to do. You know the true path to your own success. Success is very subjective, and it's what we want it to be. Perspective is what prosperity is for us. It's our own idea. There's that heart chakra. I felt that with the compassion there. It's when you're in line with your own goals and your own intuitive wisdom, your heart will lead the way. It will either feel very constricting and not for you, intense, scary even. But when you're on the right path, even though it may be risky and it may flutter the heart and still feel somewhat scary, there's still this expansion that happens when you're on the right path. So realizing and recognizing the feelings that come with consideration of one path versus another will help you to recognize where your heart wants you to go and what's not in alignment with that. There's the magic card. 31 is a 4, and so is the heart chakra. So yeah, that's interesting. Looking at the numbers on the deck, or on the desk here. A couple more here. Empowerment came out. Third eye chakra, using your intuitive guidance system to tap into what's right for you. 44, getting a lot of force here. We have heart chakra, magic, and universal love. That's the unconditional love and forgiveness, mercy, and compassion, which is on the table already. Universal love is forgiveness of others who give us the best intended advice that we can't take. I keep hearing this, I think it's Alanis Morissette's song, something like the best advice that you just can't take. I can't hear the rest of the song, but maybe you know it. I think it's that song that's like ironic, isn't it ironic? So I don't know if you're dealing with some irony right now. With this, I'm feeling that power dynamics shift here that's moving into today, where yesterday there was a shift in our recognition of the cycles and how we fit in and what's best for us and how things have played out for the highest good and have possibly altered our own perception of what's right and true for us. Recognition of where we're going from here. So there's forgiveness out here, and there's the divine feminine keeps coming out. A softening, using our intuition and guidance to nurture a situation to fruition and fertility. I'm thinking of the raising and nurturing of a child, which if you have a business enterprise or a manifestation that you're working through, you are in essence the mother and father of that budding plant, the growth cycle of your own little brainchild, your little baby, and seeing yourself as the mother and father You can read Dr. Spock, you can watch Super Nanny, but ultimately each child, each enterprise, each parent has very subjective path to walk and a very personal journey and a very personal objective that they're developing, and you are your ultimate guidance system, your heart and soul. If you're not in alignment with what you actually authentically want, you don't need to desire millions. If you don't need millions, what will you do with millions? Of course, if it finds its way to you, you can definitely always find ways to spend money and gift money and share resources, and that all sounds amazing, but there's always a give and take. So if you want those millions, you have to buy into that journey. But if you want the simple life, you don't need to buy into that journey. You buy into perhaps some sacrifice and some choices that discernment of what feels right for you. Not everybody wants to work 80 hours, and not everybody wants to go on, vacations for a whole bunch of their life. There's all different kinds of paths, and you know what's right for you. Realization. Nice. Realization comes through with an idea of a culmination, a completion, and a switching. Perhaps you've been following someone else's goals, a mother or a father of your own, or some type of authority figure that you sense to be an expert or a master in the arena that you're trying to push into, or the path that you're trying to walk. But there's a realization that if we're all going the same place, there are still many paths up the mountain. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. Right, very nice. And I'm seeing the colors on this. I'm placing it above solar plexus, compassion, empowerment, and third eye. But I'm seeing the colors in this, the yellow solar plexus, the green of compassion and heart chakra, and the blue of discernment and empowerment all showing up here. And like a kaleidoscope, what has kind of felt like a narrow path for you, like the kaleidoscope when you turn the image and suddenly the fractals kind of open up, and there's an expansion of your awareness of the multi-dimensional aspects and paths available to you. There are many paths to your end point. And even if you take a wrong turn, make it part of the dance. When you fall on your face, make it part of the dance. Change. Definitely. That same change from yesterday, coming over compassion, discernment, third eye, and universal love. There are people that need to be forgiven on the path, and there's a change of direction based on a new awareness that is coming to your attention. And this change is asking for us to not only take new action, but also to release the stress of taking misdirected actions at this time, and changing our attitudes and behaviors that have continued to bring us around and around in this old hamster wheel. There's also a need to make a better plan and to become more organized. I'm seeing the circle and the square, staying out of those, being backed into a corner with our choices. Like, for instance, people that believe they have to look the part, and so they spend too much money on their look, their shoes, their clothes, designers, and labels, and cars, and houses, versus then you're backed into a corner and you need to make that money. And so instead of walking in your purpose and in your joy, and every day being excited to go into your purpose and to make things happen in your life, instead of that, every morning waking up backed into a corner and thinking, oh well, to just get to work I have to pay to play, and it stresses me out. And so your whole job becomes the quest for money and recouping your recouping your losses. And so are you chasing losses all day, or are you chasing bliss? Are you chasing the objective that you intended when you started this journey? And perhaps there's just a few easy changes that can be implemented that can bring you out of the corner and back into the circle of life. So maybe it's the people, maybe it's the approach. There's a simplification, and there's some kind of a putting the proper key into the proper hole. My whole head is just buzzing right now. And the throat chakra going. You need to stand up and speak up and use your ideas. Whatever has been bubbling up within you, stressing you out, is asking you to meditate on it and to use that insight to create change and a new approach in your life that will bring you out of the corner and back into the flow, where you can be more abundant and more peaceful and serene on your path. Yes, there's in the pre-meditation there was much about the ancestors, and the thought was, did they ever know their beauty? Did they ever know the sparkle and the radiance that they brought with them when they were in tension and flow with their divine magic? And then the powers that be said back to me, but do you? Do you see? Do you even see? And I spent so many years of my life thinking, oh, I'm the girl next door. I'm a tomboy. I'm a shy girl. I'm whatever anyone else has told me about my journey and about my character, I allowed to define my approaches, my attitudes, my ability to make eye contact and to smile at strangers and to utilize my urge to be social and to be accepted, right? And how many of us fall into the trap of wearing a mask, socially or otherwise, or wearing the mask of a role? Oh, well, I'm a mother, I do X, Y, Z. I am a boss, I am this, and not telling people the stress of the journey, but only showing them one side of the coin. And then it's unrealistic. I'm seeing realization of realistic. The realization of what's pragmatic and practical and what really gets you there versus the illusion of success. And the illusion of success is only that. It's an illusion. It's drinking the Kool-Aid, where when you're actually feeling successful, it radiates out your pores. You don't need a costume to wear success and to wear your beauty and your sparkle out for the world. A person in alignment with their divine center and their magic radiates, and they sparkle and they feel amazing, and it just exudes out of their pores, and it causes other people to just catch their breath and stare at you from across the room. It's the higher vibration of being in alignment with your authentic truth and your destiny. It's just being. It's beingness, not doingness. Coherence. Who didn't see that coming? Number 13, following the Change 12 card, we have 1213 as a sequential development. So I want to show you these two cards together. Look at the, okay, can I get them both in the light, please? How about, there we go. Is that better? Thanks guys for bearing with me. It's a little different here. So change and coherence. So there is a realization of the changes that need to be made. We're making these changes based on heartfelt needs in our lives. And The underestimation previously of our peace and serenity, and now the recognition that that is success, that is what we're ultimately hoping for, some type of happiness, joy, peace, and serenity in this life. And if that is lacking from our path, we're recognizing the need for change and understanding the things that need to be implemented to rebalance. It's an expansion of consciousness when we introduce the heart-based needs with the material needs, because we do need to walk a foot in both worlds. If we're just off on a mountain meditating all the time, is that peace as complete as when we share that wisdom and insight and love and serenity with others? We need others on our journey. So many of us, in early situations, we have that tense, challenging situation that pushes us internally into the development of character and self, and often leads to some amount of isolation or sometimes feeling of lack of belonging, and until we find our tribe. And we often have to journey either astrally into other realms and dimensions to relate to the cosmic flow of acceptance, until we recognize our tribe is connected to us at all times. We're never alone. The internet is a glorious, magical tool to connect us to like-minded individuals. And the more that we can get out of our concepts, our false concepts of self, and into the true journey and expansion of what we're here to do, then we can really unlock, like the key in the lock, understanding who we really are and what we're here to do will unlock the next journey. And then integration, perfectly timed integration here. Coming over heart chakra, magic, divine feminine, and unconditional love. So loving yourself enough to witness the 2222, when I looked up the totality of who and what we are when we are fully integrated between the third dimension, fifth dimension, every dimension that we can envision from wherever we are on this spectrum of vibrational coherence at this time. If you're feeling guilt and shame, we somewhat need to integrate the reasoning behind that and the acceptance of what caused that, and how do those lessons need to be worked with and worked through to enable us to move forward here. One more card, root chakra. So there's definitely money concerns on the table, and the rooting the self deeply into the earthly realms. If you're meditating and being by yourself, there's an element of isolation here that needs to be resolved by digging deeply into what your true third dimensional needs are. If you don't have the money that's necessary to feel stable and secure, joining with others and pooling your resources can definitely help. So maybe reaching out to others, and I see a lot of people here and there on their tribal groups tagging people socially and asking for money. That's giving somebody a fish for a day. So don't ask for a fish. Why don't you gather with others and ask others to go fishing with you, to teach you their skills, or continue developing your own skill set. If you are in scarcity mentality, you're unable to connect and channel your creative force into productive, proactive, money-making, radiant skills. And when you're out there acting a beggar, there's a lack of self-respect and a feeling of shame and guilt that arises and will reinforce your illusion of low value and lack of self-worth, and this is on the table for a reason. So it's not about going out and getting a job. It's tapping into your heart space and your creativity and your own inner authority to recognize the gifts that you brought into this world. I mean, there are many things that other people can't do that we can do for some type of a craft or a skill, or even just, carve a piece of wood. I have seen some crazy, terrible art that people pay billions for, splashes of art, music, singing, dancing, just readings, YouTube personalities. Share your journey. The more that you share your journey, the people bond with you. They see these elements, and sharing your story, that storytelling on the positive. It's not about, oh, this happened to me, guilt, shame, holding on to the old stories. It's tell not the story of your wounding. Tell the story where you are the hero. How did you overcome? What realizations did you have along your journey that other people could have? What were the best parts of your life? And share the best, not the rest. Unless it has some type of beautiful insight for others. I saw soul time. Let's leave these cards here. A couple of handwritten cards here for you, and we will move on for the day. So I probably will not be online. Well, I'm not sure if I'll get online tomorrow or not. I'll be traveling quite a bit tonight. It's unfortunately our last day in paradise for today, or for this time. Okay, we have instant attraction, walking away. Under the deck we have glow up, soul retrieval. That makes a lot of sense. So there's something very either alluring or provocative that has caught your eye, some type of a dream or something that you're very drawn to that may hold a lot of either spiritual, energetic, or emotional wealth, or even material wealth for you. But it's begging you to walk away from either your past narrative, or playing small in your life, or walking away from a situation that's exploiting or keeping you in that hamster wheel. And you're going through an awareness of self, and this glow up card is really, really enhancing your self-image and your confidence, and therefore your creative impulse and ability to channel that. So integration is that soul retrieval, asking those ancestors, what is it that made you beautiful, and what is it that makes me beautiful? And it's not a package. It's so much more. You are so much more than the sum of your parts. You are magic. You are soul in form. In the soul that connects you to all with this unconditional, universal love. You are one and the same. You are a drop in the ocean, and you are the ocean in a drop. So your individuality is only one facet of the beautiful crystalline gem that we are all becoming as we work and grow with Gaia. All right, anything else that our viewers need to know? All right, something here. 8888, something going around and coming back around full circle. I keep hearing I am. If you don't know the I am, I do believe it comes from the I Am Discourses, which is an old spiritual book. I have not made it all the way through. I've tried to pick it up a few times, and when it's time, I will finish that book. It just has not been time for me yet. But it definitely is that essence of I am all that is, and all that is within me. I am the essence of of God and the universe. So I'm seeing a couple of cards pop out here as that was being said, red flags and unanswered prayers. So don't stay too long on something here. There's if you're attracted to something else shiny and urge to walk away from something that's been unfulfilling, it's saying that this has gone full circle and your opportunities are coming back around. Perhaps you missed an opportunity in the past and it's coming back around, and you're being told to witness the completion cycle of what has come before, and recognizing that even though you may have prayed for that to come to you, it's time to let something go. This may be something to do with a Taurus, or you may have Taurus prominent in your chart. And this whole year we have the nodes and the eclipse cycle going on in the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. Taurus being where the north node of our destiny and our highest path is located. It's about becoming stable and secure in our own worth, our value, our attraction, and our ability to magnetize prosperity, wealth, and whatever else that we are looking for. And it's definitely an internal process of integrating the shadow and the light. I'm seeing letters E, F, G, and H pop out. Maybe someone prominent in your life, or some initials of a business or self or other. I'm seeing then date, getting to know you, and restraint, holding back. So if you're holding back from asking someone out that has an instant attraction, this restraint may be just poised to have this glow up, retrieving all of your disowned parts, the things that you thought you should be judged for, or the fearful or guilty aspects of maybe not feeling that you have enough or are enough for this individual. Hold back just as long as it's necessary to meditate and to gather up those resources, do those affirmations, and expand that heart space and consciousness. Change, fate be changed, I'm hearing from the brave movie. Tread carefully here. And I'm seeing 1111, twin flame here. I need freedom, give and take, sharing, golden light code activation. So spend time in nature and in the light. You may also want to or listen to some music. True North, I feel you're my destiny, and the North Node, of course, in Taurus may be something prominent for you. We also have Soulmates, astral travel, and young female. So you may be connecting with a soulmate on the astral planes. And also I'm seeing that maybe we have divine feminine and young female here on the board. I'm sensing that you may be astral traveling. Oh, I saw 33 there. Astral traveling to reconnect to your younger feminine aspect, whether you are masculine or feminine, identifying anywhere along this spectrum. There's an essence of needing to go back into your own beauty, your own grace, your own sense of compassion, yourself and others, forgiving yourself, and believing in the beauty of your shadow side, if you will, and being able to integrate this all into that comprehensive collective self that you are. Because, like I said before, you are more than the sum of your parts. So I would definitely suggest taking some time to yourself in nature if you can, or playing some natural music for yourself while you connect with this younger aspect of yourself, and asking your ancestors what needs to be brought back together, what needs to be, it's like When you have disowned soul parts, it's like throwing half of your inner child needs down in this deep, deep well and trying to bury all the rocks on top and just throwing that child away. That sounds very harsh, and I can feel somebody having an experience an expansion right now, perhaps painful because it's somewhat the truth for some people. And it's your baby, it's your inner child, it's your path and your destiny to uncover all of these disowned parts and to love them into comprehensive self. And once you do that, you are magical. You're in the flow, because our light attracts people, but it's our darkness that compels them and connects us to each other. When somebody talks about, oh, well, I have these goals and I'm so successful because XYZ, a lot of people will be like, oh, rah, rah, I want to be like that, go get it, rise and grind. But when you share the journey, the overcoming, and the strength and the fortitude and the struggle of self-love, I'm feeling that welling up. When you share those things, people can identify very deeply with where you've been, because we've all been there, and we all have some amount of inner struggle to accept the totality of who we are. But once we get there, that is the key in the lock that unlocks our expansion and our upliftment and raises our vibration to the point where we're looking for that peace and serenity, and where we can be that divine healer for the world, and where we start changing the world. I hope that you all take that time to love yourself, and however that needs to come through. I'm speechless. I'm just hearing that if you could see the beauty that you are in the eyes of other individuals, other people respond to the vibration and the perspective that we hold of ourselves. And when you upgrade that perspective, your entire life will change. Let yourself be changed. Fate be changed. You are the key in your divine destiny's lock. So here's to you. Big love. So much healing sent your way. Put your hands on your heart and just breathe into the vibes that we're sharing today. Breathe deeply and ask that these vibrations reach you wherever you are, deeply into your heart and into your soul. And allow any tension to shake free, to be pushed to the extremity of your field, and ask yourself, transmute all of those energies and allow them to be the fertile essence that aids you in your upliftment and in your journey of expansion. Let that crap go. I guess I can't swear on here. I found it out. All right, everybody. Take some time to be playful and be in your humor as well, because humor and joy and playfulness unlocks so much more than does shame and self-judgment. Don't be afraid to go out and run around with children or animals, or just by yourself. Too many adults get into the place where they're all stiff, like they have something, So don't be one of those tightwads. Go out and be generous with yourself on every level. And you don't need to spend a bunch of money to be generous. Be generous with your play and your love and your self-awareness. All right, that is so much enough for me for today. If this resonates, please do share and like and subscribe if this does resonate. Go ahead and leave a comment if you wish. the more that you interact, the more of these videos that you watch, the more that the algorithms that are on YouTube will help me to get this message out to all of those that need it and that are here to change the world but are still stuck in a cycle that they don't know how to release from. So help us to help others. So thank you, tribe. We'll see you again real soon. Take care.